My eye doctor, my ophthalmologist, told me my eye pressure was too high, 24 millimeters of mercury. Normal is between 10 and 21. Anything above 21 puts you at risk for glaucoma. And glaucoma is not something you recover from. Once the optic nerve starts dying, those nerve fibers are gone forever. Your peripheral vision shrinks, slowly, quietly, until one day you are looking through a tunnel, and then the tunnel closes. She handed me a prescription, latanoprost, 1 drop in each eye every night for the rest of my life. I asked if there were alternatives, diet, exercise, supplements, anything that did not involve lifelong medication. She shook her head. Eye pressure doesn't respond to lifestyle changes the way blood pressure does. The fluid in your eye is produced constantly. It drains through tiny channels. When those channels get clogged or stop working efficiently, pressure builds. The only proven way to bring it down is medication or surgery, but you are not there yet. Start with the drops. I filled the prescription, used the drops for 2 weeks, and hated every second of it. The stinging, the redness, the constant reminder every night that my eyes were failing, that I was 68 years old, and my body was breaking down in ways I could not fix. But worse than the physical discomfort was the helplessness. I've always been someone who takes control, who researches, who finds solutions, and now I was being told there was only one solution, a prescription bottle, forever. So I started digging, medical journals, clinical trials, anything on intraocular pressure and natural interventions. Most of what I found was discouraging. Green tea showed a tiny temporary drop. Not enough to matter. Omega-3s helped with dry eye but did nothing for pressure. Bilberry was mentioned a lot in supplement marketing, but the research was weak. And then I found something that stopped me cold. A study from Japan, published in the Journal of Ocular Pharmacology and Therapeutics in 2012. Researchers gave black currant anthocyanins to patients with open-angle glaucoma, 50 milligrams per day, for 6 months. The results were not dramatic, but they were real. The group taking black currant anthocyanins had better visual field scores than the placebo group, and when they looked deeper, they found something fascinating. The blackcurrant group had improved blood flow in the optic nerve head, better circulation, more oxygen, more nutrients reaching the cells that were slowly dying from the pressure. Then I found the follow-up study. 2 years, 38 patients with glaucoma, same dose. 50 milligrams of blackcurrant anthocyanins daily. Compared to placebo, at the end of 2 years, the placebo group had significantly worse visual field deterioration. Their glaucoma was progressing. The blackcurrant group, stable. Their visual fields were not getting worse. In a disease where stability is victory, that was huge. But here is what really caught my attention. In a separate study on healthy volunteers, blackcurrant anthocyanins lowered intraocular pressure, not by a lot, but measurably, enough that the researchers concluded it might have therapeutic potential. I kept reading. The mechanism made sense. Anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants. They reduce oxidative stress. They improve endothelial function, which means better blood vessel health, and they increase nitric oxide production, which helps blood vessels relax and dilate in the eye. That translates to better drainage. The trabecular meshwork, the tiny channels where fluid drains out of the eye, depends on healthy endothelial cells. When those cells are inflamed or damaged, drainage slows, pressure builds. Anthocyanins help keep those cells healthy, functional, open. Black currants are not common in the United States. You cannot walk into a grocery store and buy them fresh, but you can buy black currant juice. Concentrated, pure. No added sugar. I found a brand online, organic black currant juice from Poland. 4 ounces delivered about 50 milligrams of anthocyanins, the exact dose used in the Japanese studies. I ordered a bottle. When it arrived, I poured 4 ounces into a small glass. It was dark, almost black, thick. The smell was sharp, tart. I tasted it. My face puckered. It was intensely sour, like concentrated cranberry juice, but more astringent. I added a little water. That helped. I could drink it, not enjoy it, but tolerate it. The studies suggested taking it in divided doses throughout the day, but I decided to drink it all at once, at night, right before bed. Because intraocular pressure naturally rises when you are lying down. Your eyes produce fluid constantly, but when you are horizontal, drainage slows. That is why glaucoma damage often happens overnight. I figured if I could get anthocyanins into my system right before that vulnerable period, maybe they would help keep the drainage channels open while I slept. I did not tell my ophthalmologist. I did not stop the prescription drops. I just added the black currant juice, 4 ounces, every night, an hour before bed. For the first 2 weeks, I noticed nothing. My eyes felt the same. My vision felt the same. I started to think maybe this was just another supplement fad, another expensive placebo. But then, around week 3, I started waking up differently. My eyes felt less pressure. That tight, full feeling I had been ignoring for months was gone. I thought maybe I was imagining it. Placebo effect, wishful thinking. At my next ophthalmology appointment, 6 weeks after starting the black currant juice, the tech measured my eye pressure. She frowned, measured again. Then she called the doctor in. My pressure was 18. Down from 24, 6 points in 6 weeks. My ophthalmologist was surprised. She asked if I had been using the drops consistently. I said yes. She nodded. Sometimes it takes a few weeks for the medication to reach full effect. You are responding well. Keep it up. I did not mention the black currant juice. I wanted more data. I wanted to see if it would last. So I kept drinking it. 4 ounces, every night, like clockwork. And I kept using the prescription drops. 3 months later, my pressure was 16, right in the middle of the normal range. My doctor was thrilled. She said, "Whatever you are doing, it is working. Your optic nerve looks healthy. No signs of damage. Let's keep monitoring every 6 months." That is when I decided to test something. I wanted to know if the black currant juice was actually doing anything, or if it was just the prescription drops. I stopped the drops. But I kept the juice. I did not tell my doctor. I know that sounds reckless, but I monitored my vision carefully. Every day, covering one eye, then the other, checking my peripheral vision, looking for any changes, any dark spots, any blind areas. I also invested in a home tonometer, not quite as accurate as the one at the eye doctor's office, of course, but good enough to track the overall trends. For the first week, my home readings were rock steady, hovering around 16 to 18, perfectly normal. Second week, same thing. Third week, ditto. 3 months later, I went back to see my ophthalmologist, or rather, my eye doctor. She checked my pressure. 17, still within the normal range. She glanced at my chart. "You've been on latanoprost for how long now?" 7 months, I said. Technically true. I'd been prescribed it 7 months prior. I just hadn't actually used it for the last 3. She smiled. "This is exactly what we want to see. Stable pressure, healthy optic nerve. You're doing everything right." I almost spilled the beans right then and there. About the juice, about ditching the drops. But I held back. I needed one more data point, one more confirmation. 6 months zipped by. Another appointment. Pressure still normal. 18 in the left eye. 17 in the right. Optic nerve. Healthy as a horse. Visual field test. Normal as can be. That's when I laid it all on her. I confessed that I'd stopped the prescription drops 3 months into the treatment, and that I'd been knocking back black currant juice every night instead, 4 ounces, for the past 9 months. She went silent for a long moment. Then she swiveled to her computer and pulled up the studies. The Japanese research. She scanned through them, eyed my chart, then looked back at the studies. Finally, she spoke. I can't officially recommend this. Blackcurrant anthocyanins aren't FDA approved for intraocular pressure. But I can't argue with your results either. Your pressure is normal. Your optic nerve is healthy. If you want to keep doing what you're doing, I'll keep a close watch on you. But if your pressure creeps back up, we're restarting the prescription immediately. I agreed, and I kept guzzling that juice. That was 2 years ago. I'm 70 now. My eye pressure has stayed between 16 and 19. 0 medication, just 4 ounces of black currant juice every night before hitting the hay. And I'm not the only one. After I blabbed about my experience in an online glaucoma support group, 7 other folks gave it a whirl. 3 of them were already on prescription drops and tacked on the juice as an extra measure. Their pressures dipped even further. 2 of them even managed to scale back their medication dosage. All under their doctor's eagle eye. 4 brave souls tried the juice solo, just like I did. 2 of them had pressures in the low 20s, borderline high, but not quite medication territory. After 3 months of black currant juice, both of them landed squarely in the normal zone. One plunged from 22 to 18, the other from 23 to 17. The other 2 had pressures that were significantly higher, 26 and 28. The juice offered some help. It nudged them down a few points, but it wasn't enough. They still needed medication. But the juice plus the medication kept their pressure under better control than medication alone. Now, here's the critical thing. Black currant juice isn't some magical cure-all for glaucoma. It's not a substitute for proper medical care, and it doesn't work its magic on everyone. But the science is legit. Multiple peer-reviewed studies, all conducted in Japan, published in reputable journals, all demonstrating that blackcurrant anthocyanins can lower intraocular pressure, ramp up optic nerve blood flow, and put the brakes on visual field deterioration in glaucoma patients. The reason your ophthalmologist, your eye doctor, has likely never mentioned this is simple. There's no financial windfall in studying food. You can't slap a patent on a berry. You can't charge insurance companies hundreds of bucks a month for blackcurrant juice. Pharmaceutical companies bankroll most of the research that doctors rely on, and they're not exactly lining up to fund studies on dirt-cheap, unpatentable natural compounds. So the research is out there, but it's buried deep in Japanese medical journals. It doesn't make it to American ophthalmology conferences. It's not part of the medical school curriculum. And your doctor, drowning in information about the latest glaucoma drugs, probably hasn't even heard of it. But you're hearing about it now. And if you have high eye pressure or early glaucoma or a family history that cranks up your risk, you have a decision looming. You can stick to the standard protocol, prescription drops, price Y, daily, forever, with side effects that range from mildly annoying to downright serious. Or you can experiment with adding black currant juice to your daily routine, 4 ounces a night, about $2 a day. With the only downside being a slightly tart smack on your tongue. I'm not saying ditch your medication without consulting your doctor. That would be irresponsible and, frankly, dangerous. What I am saying is this: arm yourself with knowledge. Bring the research to your ophthalmologist, your eye doctor. Show them the Japanese studies. Ask if you can experiment with adding black currant juice alongside your current treatment. Keep a close watch on your pressure. If it dips, ask about scaling back your medication. under medical supervision, of course. And if you're teetering on the edge, pressure in the low 20s but not quite on medication yet, black currant juice might be just what you need to dodge those drops altogether. So, let's get down to brass tacks. Let me break down exactly how to tackle this. The protocol, the dosage, the timing, the brand, everything. Step 1. Snag yourself some pure blackcurrant juice. Not a blackcurrant blend, not something vaguely blackcurrant flavored. Pure blackcurrant, 100%. No added sugar, no preservatives, just pressed black currants. The brand I swear by comes from Poland. You can track it down online. A 500 milliliter bottle will set you back about $15 and will last you around 4 days. So roughly $100 a month. A bit steeper than I'd like, but still cheaper than a copay for prescription glaucoma drops. And a heck of a lot cheaper than glaucoma surgery. Step 2. Measure out 4 ounces. That's half a cup. Roughly 120 milliliters. Pour it into a glass. Step 3. If you can't stomach the tartness, dilute it with water. I do half juice, half water. Some folks go for 1 part juice, 2 parts water. That's perfectly fine. You're still getting the same amount of anthocyanins, just in a bigger volume. Step 4. Drink it 1 hour before bedtime. Not with dinner, not right before you crash. 1 hour before. This gives your body some wiggle room to absorb the anthocyanins, so they're circulating in your bloodstream when you hit the hay, and your eye pressure naturally ticks upwards. Step 5. Be consistent. Every single night. No skipping allowed. Intraocular pressure isn't like blood sugar, where you can indulge on the weekends. Your eyes are pumping out fluid 24 hours a day. Drainage is a constant process. You need consistent anthocyanin levels to keep that system purring smoothly. Step 6. Give it time. The Japanese studies clocked results at 6 months and 2 years. My pressure dipped in 6 weeks, but that might have been because I was still on prescription drops initially. If you're going the juice-only route, brace yourself to wait 3 months before you make a judgment call on whether it's working. Step 7. Monitor your pressure. Don't guess. Get it measured. Every 3 months minimum. If you have access to a home tonometer, check weekly. Track the numbers. Look for trends. Step 8. If your pressure does not drop, or if it goes back up, talk to your eye doctor immediately. Black currant juice is not magic. It works for some people. Not for everyone. And if it's not working for you, you need medical intervention before your optic nerve gets damaged. Now, let me address some questions I get asked a lot. Can I just take black currant supplements instead of juice? Maybe. But here's the problem. Most black currant supplements use dried extract. The blackcurrant anthocyanins in dried extracts are less bioavailable than the blackcurrant anthocyanins in liquid juice. Your body absorbs them differently. The Japanese studies used purified anthocyanin extract, which is different from the cheap dried powder you find in most supplements. If you are going to use a supplement, look for one that specifies the anthocyanin content. You want 50 milligrams of anthocyanins per dose, not 50 milligrams of blackcurrant extract, actual anthocyanins. But honestly, I trust the juice more. It's closer to what people have been consuming for centuries. Your body knows how to process it. Can I use other berries? Blueberries, bilberries? Blueberries and bilberries contain anthocyanins, but not the same type or concentration as black currants. Black currants have a specific anthocyanin profile, heavy in delphinidin-3 rutinoside and cyanidin-3 rutinoside. Those are the compounds that have been studied for eye pressure. Bilberries are closer, they're related to black currants, but the research on bilberries and glaucoma is weaker. Black currants have multiple clinical trials backing them up. Bilberries mostly have test tube studies and anecdotal reports. If you can't find black currant juice, bilberry juice is your next best option. But black currants are the gold standard. What if I can't afford black currant juice? Then try green tea. It's not as effective. But there is research showing that green tea catechins can temporarily lower intraocular pressure. A study out of Hong Kong found that drinking 2 cups of green tea lowered pressure by about 2 millimeters of mercury for a couple of hours. The effect is short-lived. But if you drink green tea multiple times throughout the day, you might maintain a slight reduction. It's not as good as black currant juice, but it's something, and green tea is cheap. Brew it strong. Steep the tea bag for 5 minutes. Drink it hot or cold. Aim for 3 to 4 cups a day. Spread them out. Morning, midday, afternoon, evening, and don't add sugar. Sugar spikes blood glucose, which can increase inflammation and oxidative stress. You're trying to reduce oxidative stress. Sugar works against you. What about side effects? Black currant juice is food. It's generally safe. But some people experience mild digestive upset when they first start. Loose stools, a little cramping. That usually resolves within a week as your gut bacteria adjust. If you're on blood thinners, talk to your eye doctor before starting black currant juice. Anthocyanins have mild anticoagulant effects. Probably not enough to matter, but better safe than sorry. And if you have a history of kidney stones, be cautious. Black currants contain oxalates. High oxalate intake can increase kidney stone risk in susceptible individuals. For most people, the only side effect is the taste, which honestly takes some getting used to. Can I drink more than 4 ounces? You can, but I wouldn't go crazy. The studies used 50 milligrams of anthocyanins. 4 ounces of good quality black currant juice delivers about that amount. Drinking 8 ounces will give you more anthocyanins, but there's no evidence that more is better, and too much can cause diarrhea. Black currants have a lot of fiber and natural sugars. Your intestines can only handle so much. Stick with 4 ounces. It's evidence-based, and it works. Now I want to talk about something important. If this information has been valuable to you, if it has given you hope or a plan you didn't have before, I want to ask you to do something. Hit the super thanks button below this video. It's that little heart icon. You can leave a tip, $5, $10, whatever feels right. Here's why that matters. This video is not sponsored. I'm not selling black currant juice. I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not making money from recommending this. What I am doing is spending hours reading research papers, translating Japanese studies, talking to people in glaucoma communities, and compiling that information into something clear and actionable. That takes time. And when you support this channel with super thanks, you are telling me that this kind of content is valuable, that it's worth making more of, that people want access to research-backed natural interventions, not just pharmaceutical solutions. You're also supporting the idea that health information should be free and accessible, not locked behind paywalls, not buried in medical journals that cost $40 per article to access, not filtered through pharmaceutical marketing. So if this video helped you, consider clicking that super thanks button. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting the democratization of health knowledge. Okay, let me give you the complete protocol. One more time. Write this down. Step 1. Buy 100% pure blackcurrant juice, no added sugar, no blends. Check the label. It should say blackcurrant and nothing else. Step 2. Every night, 1 hour before bed, pour 4 ounces of juice into a glass. Dilute with water if the taste is too strong. Step 3. Drink it consistently, no skipping. Every single night. Step 4. Get your eye pressure measured every 3 months. Track the numbers, look for a downward trend. Step 5. If you're on glaucoma medication, keep taking it. Add the juice alongside your medication. Don't stop your drops without eye doctor supervision. Step 6. After 3 months, if your pressure has dropped, Talk to your eye doctor about reducing medication. Show them the Japanese research. Ask if you can try spacing out your drops or lowering the dose. Step 7. If you're not on medication and your pressure is borderline high, use the juice and monitor closely. If your pressure does not drop after 3 months, or if it goes up, see your ophthalmologist or eye doctor immediately. Step 8. Support the protocol with healthy habits. Don't smoke. Limit alcohol. Eat leafy greens. Avoid high sodium. Exercise regularly. All of those things help with eye pressure and general vascular health. That's it. Simple. Evidence-based. Affordable for most people. And it could be a real game changer, especially if you're staring down a lifetime of glaucoma medication or the creeping shadow of peripheral vision loss. Will it be a magic bullet for everyone? Absolutely not. Some folks might give this a shot and see zero difference. Some people have structural issues with the drainage system in their eyes. And no amount of black currant anthocyanins can fix that. And then there are those who have genetic predispositions that make them resistant to this kind of dietary change. But for a substantial number of people, based on the clinical trials and the first-hand accounts I've seen, blackcurrant juice can lower eye pressure, boost optic nerve circulation, and significantly reduce the risk of glaucoma getting worse. And even if it only works for, say, 30 or 40% of the people who try it, that's still tens of thousands of individuals who could potentially avoid medication altogether, or at least cut down on their dosage, or slow the progression of the disease, buying precious time for even better treatments to emerge. That's definitely worth knowing about, isn't it? Now, I want to hear your stories. What's your eye pressure like? Are you currently on medication? Would you be willing to give blackcurrant juice a 3-month trial and then share your results? Drop a comment down below. Let's put together a real database of real-world experiences. Not just clinical trials on paper, but real people and real outcomes. And if you happen to know someone who's struggling with high eye pressure or glaucoma, share this video with them. This kind of information doesn't usually filter through mainstream medical channels. It spreads from person to person, patient to patient. So, be the one to pass it on. Just a quick reminder, this content is strictly for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. Please do not stop any prescribed glaucoma treatments without consulting your ophthalmologist or eye doctor first. Glaucoma is a serious condition that can lead to permanent vision loss if not managed properly. The information I've shared here is based on published research and my own experiences, but individual results can and will vary. Always chat with your healthcare provider about any dietary changes or supplements you're considering, especially if you have pre-existing medical conditions, are currently taking medications, or have a history of kidney stones or bleeding disorders. Your intraocular pressure should be checked regularly by a qualified eye care professional. And if you experience any sudden vision changes, eye pain, or other concerning symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Your sight is irreplaceable. Protect it.